for our version of what happened.
The Oskins claim that Paul attacked Becky.
Someone gave me a mirror and I could see the thumbprint on the side of my neck.
But Paul tells a very different story.
And he came out of the car and just attacked me. They're animals.
He says the three of them attacked him. He suffered serious injuries. He had a broken nose, and he had cuts all about his face and his body, and he was bleeding heavily.
Do I look like I could hurt any one of those people?
What did you do?
Also, I had no choice. I had to hit him a few times.
Am I sorry that Paul got his butt handed to him by my son? The only thing I can say there is Paul was lucky. I don't think I would have stopped had I started beating him. I would have probably beat him to death.
I do remember officers saying, no, we could arrest you too. They believed that we were the aggressors, that I caused Paul to put his hands around me.
Paul is taken away, but police do not lay charges.
He says, it's he said, she said. You can't prove anything.
Daryl was furious.
I saw the damage that he had done to my daughter, and I almost died. That was my flesh and blood that he had his hands on.
Monster. He's not gonna get away with this. Who the hell does he think he is?
He so wanted to take matters into his own hands. Oh, he wanted to bring us down.
Fortunately, things don't go that far.
There was an officer that did believe us. By the next day, charges were brought against Paul.
Paul is charged with assault. But while waiting for his trial, there he is, every single day, living next door.
And then after that, it was terrible.
Things were getting so bad.
It feels like the whole town is turning into a battleground.
I was at Walmart, and I go down an aisle, and oh God, there's Paul. Oh, come on. And he goes, his mumbling like usual. And I go, Paul, not now, not here. I just wanted to get out of there, and I asked security to walk me to my car. I was tired of having to look over my shoulder.
No matter where Peggy goes, like a bad dream, Paul seems to be right there.
I was at the deli on Christmas Eve, and I felt, somebody in my space. And I turned, and there was Paul. He just stood there and glared. Daryl always said that he wasn't afraid of him. He was afraid of what he would do to us. I scared to death of him.
Paul's life at that time was very bad. He was dealing with the death of his wife. He also was dealing with caring for his daughter who had Down syndrome. He had his hands full, and I don't know if he was really capable of dealing with all those issues, but he was doing the best he could.
But his best is making the Oskins' lives a living hell.
You're a prisoner in your own home.
I was always on edge.
Watch it!
I had a mean streak coming up. Every time somebody would do a little something, I would snap.
5 long months after his altercation with Becky Oskins, Paul Hashman stands trial. We weren't sure what to think. Maybe he didn't mean to choke her. But we felt terrible for the Oskins as well. Both sides want justice.
The charge was amended to disorderly conduct persisting, which is fighting, and he was fined $318.
A slap on the wrist for trying to kill my daughter.
But this is a slap in the face for Paul Hashman, outraged at having to pay a single cent.
Are you laughing at my daughter? Get out of here.
Again, both sides feel justice has been denied.
That made everything worse. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
He stewed for 10 days, and then he did what he did.
45 years of living next to each other, most of them in harmony. He's reaching the horrible, final confrontation.
Temperature was
Is that him
like
crying? Do you want me to hold him?
below 30.
He died.
There was 18 inches of snow on it.
He died.
I looked up and I saw Paul coming out of his house. At that point, I turned my snowblower around towards the
I'm
side
gonna know he was rubbing his eyes
and
and
started
everything.
clearing the sidewalk. I kind of looked up. I noticed Paul was not outside the home. I looked back and he was standing in front of me, in front of my house. I saw him reach for his waistband and I saw the pistol. I thought, I'm not going to be alive much longer.
Get your game on and try Dr. Pepper Tic Tac. Score big with Dr. Pepper Tic Tac.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. So when the job is heavy, GMC Sierra HD reports for duty. Get 4.9% APR plus $2,000 purchase cash on 2026 GMC Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. We are professional grade.
You asked for it, so we deliver. It's the throwback value menu from Pizza Hut. Your favorite starting at $3, featuring a personal pan just like you remember, and the iconic stuffed crust for only $10 and more. Check out everything on the throwback value menu, only at Pizza Hut.
Teens share everything, but through certain everyday behaviors, they could also share bacteria that can cause meningitis B. At least 84% of 17-year-olds could still be missing meningitis B vaccination, even if they were vaccinated at age 11 or 12.
What you doing?
At first, symptoms can feel like the flu.
Can you get Ike for me?
Quickly worsen. Although meningitis is uncommon, it can turn deadly, sometimes within 24 hours. About 1 in 10 will die. At your teen's next appointment, ask their doctor about missing meningitis B vaccination.
Upgrade your fall setup with the Cavella.
He tied his bottle on the bed. He shouldn't be hungry.
Resistant next-gen Nuvella performance fabric with machine washable covers for worry-free lounging. Shop cozy fall styles at Ashley, in-store and online.
You don't see someone very often that goes their whole life basically living a law-abiding life and then snaps. Hey! And goes out and commits a major felony.
The nightmare feud on our street has come down to this moment.
The first bullet struck me in the shoulder, took me to the ground. Can't say as I actually felt any pain, but it felt like I'd been hit with something hard.
I heard a noise. I don't know what I thought it was. I dismissed it as being the snowblower backfired. And I turned around and went back to the kitchen.
And then I heard a second shot. I heard another shot. And then the next thing I know, Paul's standing on top of the chute. I tried to kick at him with my leg, knock him down, and all he did was drop down on top of me. and he shot me again, hit me in the leg.
And then I heard screams. I opened the front door, grabbed the phone, and I called 911.
I grabbed for the gun. The last shot, bullet went through my wrist and grazed my head.
Paul, he was killing him, and I had this plywood cutout goose decoration standing on the porch, and I just, whack him. I was afraid of what he was gonna do, but I just hit him again up alongside the head. Paul just turned and looked at me with the blankest, coldest, icy eyes that I've ever seen. Paul stood up and started to walk away. The police are there, and they're instructing him to get on the ground.
Get down on your knees. Some of us watched the whole thing from our front windows. We just couldn't believe this was happening on our street. Paramedics worked frantically to save Daryl's life.
I just remember telling him to get me out of here. I didn't want my wife to see me die on that sidewalk.
Paul is taken to jail. Daryl is rushed to hospital. He's been shot 7 times.
There was a snowblower on the sidewalk. There was one shoe on the sidewalk. I believe that was from Paul Hashman. Appeared to be some blood stains on the sidewalk.
They recovered 2 bullets out of me in all the surgeries that had been done. I still carry 4 of them.
Daryl spends 172 days in hospital, 2 months in a drug-induced coma. He undergoes 50 operations. He loses his spleen, his appendix, and suffers major damage to his intestines.
I've lost 6 or 7 inches of the ascending colon. I've lost the entire transverse colon. Probably a third, maybe a little better than a third of the descending colon.
I got him back. He's different. Some aspects, it's a good different.
Daryl's always been a survivor. He's a strong guy. But you don't lose that baggage. It's not something that you can therapy out or that you can just cope with or deal with. He has to live with it every day.
After all his intensive surgeries, Daryl is unable to return to work. Another trial, another chance to get justice. Paul is charged with attempted murder.
Our defense in court was self-defense. That he went out there to talk to Mr. Hoskins and tell him to stop putting the snow on his property, and he was attacked by the snowblower, by Mr. Hoskins.
The jury hears evidence that Paul acted with intent to kill.
Paul did intend to kill Daryl. He told me that he went out, he intended to kill him. He said he should have done it 10 years ago. He says he was not remorseful for shooting Daryl. He was remorseful that there wasn't nobody left to take care of his daughter.
The defense counsel definitely used Paul's age as a benefit. Defense counsel tried to portray Daryl as a bully who was bullying this kind old man. And I think the defense smokescreen worked pretty well on some of the jurors.
Paul Hashman is acquitted of attempted murder, but convicted of felonious assault. He's given a total of 7 years.
The verdict added insult to injury. I just do not understand how you could shoot somebody 7 times and have it be called anything but attempted murder.
Was justice served? No, justice was not served. No, not one way, shape, or form.
I believe that Paul never should have been sent to prison. He never hurt anyone in his 82 years until he ran into the Oskins family. And that's when the problem started.
Paul's daughter, Sonia, is placed in a care facility. He dies in prison in the last year of his sentence. He was 89 years old. The Oskins decide to move away, leaving behind the home they had loved for nearly 3 decades.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's a great neighborhood.
We're grateful that he did go to prison. And I'm more grateful that he died before he got out.
If I could talk to Paul, what would I ask him? Why couldn't you let it go? Why couldn't you just live? Take care of your daughter. I just want to live and take care of my family. That's all I want. Why couldn't you leave it alone? Why couldn't you leave us alone?
Bring on the double. After my hospital stay, Aflac helped close the gap by paying me cash for expenses health insurance didn't cover. Nothing covers gaps better than the Aflac duck.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with. Ask about it at work. You do look like.
They seemed really in love. This was a fresh start.
A new marriage.
Hi, falling in love with my mom and taking on her 3 kids too.
A new chance for happiness.
You knew that you could grow up and live there forever.
But fairy tale romances rarely have fairy tale endings.
Her symptoms continued to escalate.
I was afraid to eat or drink anything.
A family is being terrorized by someone closer than they could imagine.
He felt that I can do this and get away with it. I'm that smart.
We were dealing with a heartless creature.
You might say there's 2 Floridas. One where tourists come to frolic, and another where hard-working people grow oranges, serve in the military, and raise families. Alturas is one of those places, a speck on the map, dead center of the state.
Okay, you can put that one in the lamp.
Alturas is a great little town. It's a very close-knit community. Everybody knows each other, and it's a great place to live and a great place to raise a family.
For Peggy and her new husband, Pi, it seems like the perfect place to blend their 2 families.
When I went there for the first time to see the house, I could see us all being a family there and enjoying, the home there.
Pi Carr's a phosphate miner who has lived here for more than a decade. Raising 2 teenagers as a single dad, he's just convinced Peggy to leave a nearby small town and move in with him, bringing her 3 kids along.
I appreciated Pi for what he was doing. you know, falling in love with my mom and taking on her 3 kids too, and offering to blend us all together. And I like Pi. I like Pi a lot.
The new Peggy and Pi household is a happy bunch. Pi's kids are Tammy and Travis. Peggy's are Dwayne, Ellen, and Jelena. And Peggy's also a grandma. Jelena is a single mom with a 2-year-old daughter named Casey. For Peggy and Pi, it's been a whirlwind romance.
My mom had a restaurant in Fort Meade, and he would come in and he would kind of flirt with her a little bit and ask me to introduce him.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give it to her.
At first, she didn't really want anything to do with him. She wasn't interested, and then I don't know. I think he just kind of kept being persistent, and finally, she said yes.
From there, things moved quickly for the happy couple. And everyone in the area was delighted to have their whole gang in our midst.
This was a fresh start. They seemed really in love, and we were excited for Mom. I think all of us were excited about the move, excited about the change. We started making friends right away.
For Peggy and her children, it seems like everything is finally coming together.
Alturas was a very safe place to live. The people there were all friends, everybody knew each other, and you knew that you could grow up and love and live there forever.
But all the love and warm feelings are put to the test when evil descends on the neighborhood. For now, though, it's nothing but sunshine for Pi Carr's new clan. They are welcomed by George and Diana Trapal, who've lived next door to Pi for half a dozen years. George is a computer whiz who works at home. Diana is a successful orthopedic surgeon.
We all knew that she was a doctor, so we
You can put that on the
wanted to
lamp.
respect her and like her right away.
George and Diana don't have children, and they place a lot of value on privacy and quiet. But that's a tall order, with 5 kids across the way.
I was a typical teenager. Dwayne and I, and Travis too, we were always working on our cars. We were always fixing motorcycles, cars, whatever.
Teens hanging out in the yard. A big, joyous family. For Peggy, it's a dream come true, even if the noise levels might be a little trying for the folks next door.
I think she enjoyed having a house full of people, a house full of kids. My mom really expected us to have dinner together. That was one of the rules. So we would all sit around and laugh and joke and talk.
The best news for Peggy is that her kids and Pi's become fast friends.
Me and Tammy hit it off right away. I was honored to have a sister. I really, really liked the fact that I had another brother, and they just made it easy to be their sibling.
We seemed to blend real well.
George and Pi have always been cordial, if never close. In the entire time they've been neighbors, only once has there been serious friction.
There had been a confrontation over the Carr's dogs chasing the Trapal's cats.
But things were resolved, and, in any case, Pi's dogs died of a strange illness soon afterwards. Since then, it's all been peace and harmony between the two men.
My first impression of George when I saw him, I remember he used to wear sandals with socks, and I thought that was very nerdy. But I thought he was nice, because he would wave at us.
Soon, though, the growing household next door proves to be too much for George.
I said that he'd take the pool house and make it into a 2-bedroom apartment for me and my stepsister Tammy.
The renovation drives their neighbor crazy.
Okay, but that on the lamp.
I understand it, but it's you're cutting all the time. It's so loud.
George didn't really approve of that, didn't like that, but that Pi didn't really care. And I think that's the kind of person Pi was. He was just very, I'm gonna do it whether you like it or not.
I can't help you. I gotta get this done.
Before the reno is complete, George calls a city inspector, who shuts the project down. With one phone call, he has managed to foil his neighbor's plans.
No complaint.
I don't really know why he had such a problem with that.
You gotta be kidding.
The houses aren't that close together.
Soon there are other signs of trouble. Inside the house, Pi and Peggy's fairy tale romance is starting to develop some cracks.
About 4 months into the marriage, we started seeing my mom and Pi argue.
I didn't do anything.
What do you mean you didn't do anything? I already had to go through this in my past. I don't need it again from you. Just stay there. I don't want you to touch me.
I didn't do.
And outside, the neighbors escalate the clampdown on their disturbed peace.
Turn that music down right now.
You put that one on the lamp.
Here.
Diana was always complaining. She was always unhappy.
You guys have no regard for other people. Okay?
Diane came outside and wanted to yell and insisted on talking to my mom.
Diana, what seems to be the problem? Oh, what seems to be the problem? Your boys are out of control. That's what the problem is. This music.
You know, this lady just blasted mom, and mom didn't swear. She wouldn't say anything hateful or anything back. She would only try to explain. They're just being boys. They're just washing their vehicle. I'll get them to turn the music down. And she would try to appease this lady.
This is a disturbance. Annie, turn your mind down.
Finally, Peggy snaps.
Get off my property. Now. How dare you take...
Peggy was a very sweet woman. At the same time, she wasn't the type of person who was going to be walked on. She was not going to allow people to upset her family or upset her life, that she's going to stand up for herself.
For Peggy, the tension is getting unbearable. There's angry neighbors next door, and a new marriage that's turning out to be less wonderful than she thought.
My mom revealed to me that she had some suspicion of Pi cheating, and she was very upset about that.
Why? How could you do this to me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on,
The relationship deteriorates, and attempts at reconciliation falter.
And I was hurt, because I'm the one who introduced him to my mother. So I felt like not only did he disappoint and hurt my mother, but he disappointed and hurt me.
With her dreams of happiness hanging by a thread, and the Trapals next door watching her family's every move, the last thing Peggy needs is more trouble. But she's about to get it, in spades.
I thought she had the flu.
You could put that one on the lamp.
Said that she was tired. She was sick to her stomach.
Peggy's known as a hard worker, but today, she can't finish her shift.
One thing that I felt was odd and out of character for the flu was that she said she couldn't open her eyes. Her eyelids were very heavy, and she felt burning in her feet and in her hands.
Her symptoms continued to escalate to the point where she couldn't even walk. She had become so incredibly weak that she was just not able to do anything for herself.
Her family is about to learn this is only the beginning of their plunge into hell.
Cars had actually received a note that said, you need to get out of Florida or you're all going to die.
My brother,
You could put that one in the lamp.
Sick. My hands are tingling and on fire, and I can't hardly walk.
anything.
Peggy Carr has come down with a strange illness. She's seen a doctor and been sent back home. But now she's getting worse by the day, and her children are frantic.
I remember just
You
kind
could
of
put that one in the
pushing
lap.
Pie. You know, we need to take my mom back to the ER. We need to take her to the hospital.
Curiously, Peggy's husband Pie has a better idea. He invites his sister over. Carolyn's a nurse.
Carolyn kept giving her cola and trying to make sure that my mom drank a lot of fluids. I felt like Carolyn was not a doctor, she was a nurse. And I felt like she needed to go see a doctor.
Finally, no one can ignore how sick Peggy has become.
Pie finally came down to my apartment and said, I'm going to take
We
your
could
mom
put that
to
one in the
the
lap.
hospital. I think she needs to go. They admitted her because they thought she had some kind of viral infection.
Doctors can't figure out exactly what is wrong with her. All they know is that this tough, hard-working 42-year-old woman is completely incapacitated.
I was in class in the Navy and got an emergency message. I flew into Orlando and met Jelena. I knew it was serious when Jelena told me we were going straight to the hospital. We weren't going anywhere else.
Exhaustive tests are run, and the cause of Peggy's illness is finally discovered. It's a massive shock to everyone.
The doctor, I can remember his face as clear as if it were yesterday.
What we've discovered is there is a poison in your system.
And he tells you that it's a heavy metal poisoning.
Peggy's been poisoned with thallium nitrate, a compound last used in the 50s and 60s in rat poison.
What goes through your mind is, what does it take to get her out of here? What's got to happen now? Do I have to give blood, or does she need something from me? How can I help her? There's got to be something I can do.
But the next piece of news is even more devastating. Thallium poisoning has no antidote, and the horror doesn't stop there. Soon, half the family is sick. First, Peggy's son Dwayne. Then Pie's son Travis develops the symptoms too.
I remember asking Dwayne, what does it feel like? He just described like needle pricks on all of his extremities.
The thallium had been pulled from the shelves years ago and was no longer available, which left authorities trying to find where this rat poison had came from.
Let me see. Other here.
The first place they looked was in the wells. And there was extreme concern that the water system in that area may have become contaminated.
Next door neighbors George and Diana Trapal share a well with Pie. They've been told that thallium is tasteless, odorless, and deadly.
They were very vigilant. They started drinking bottled water. They were concerned that if it could have happened to her, it could happen to us.
But the wells are clean. Police now think someone has deliberately poisoned Peggy and her family. But who could it possibly be? Investigators are stunned to learn that Pie's family had recently been the target of a death threat.
We found out during our investigation is that the Carrs had actually received a note, like a typed note, several weeks before.
And it said, you and your so-called family all need to move out of the state of Florida or you will all be killed.
The family laughed it off and didn't report it to police. A bad call in hindsight. Authorities now scour Pie's house for clues.
I believe there was over 400 items that were taken from their house.
You mind if I take a picture?
Lab and tested.
You right.
Soon, they discover how the deadly thallium had entered the home. One of the items sent for testing was a half-empty six-pack of cola.
The lab actually found high doses in the bottles that were left. High doses of thallium.
So they traced it back to the bottling plant and reviewed that bottling plant from top to bottom and never could find any reason to believe that that was the source.
It was determined
Alrighty.
that these bottles were
You can sit in the chair right behind you.